Blaze away would probably be a good option for them, even a ban potentially.
I like banning Blaze, to be honest. He denies so much fun things.
Yeah.
All these wombo combos they're gonna pull in there, he just drops the bunker, and you just drop it and you're fine.
I mean, to be honest, from Alex's perspective, that last fight when he comes in from behind on the bridge,
Frustrating.
and then he gets the isolation, bunker gets dropped, and he just probably looks at it as like, that's just BS right there. I mean, you get the flank from behind, you get the isolation off, and you're just like, okay, this is the moment where we might be turning it around. We have to fight here. We have to fight behind the boss, and then your target that you hit perfectly jumps in the bunker, jumps out, and says like, what up, bro? Very frustrating.
It gets worse when you think about the level 20 Contagion, and you still drop all of that. Everyone just jumps in and they're completely cleansed of it. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, Bunker, I see you. Well, first ban coming in from the Monkeys. Will they continue their old trend of always banning out Abathur? They've banned out Garrosh in game number 1, and they're going to do the same here in game number 3. Garrosh, a pretty important fixture on this battleground, but also one that really started to showcase what Sport Billy can do if he wants to be aggressive. He and Robodoba, I think, were the two major highlights with Mopsio that we saw in the first phase.
I think this is a really good point. It's not only that you ban out a meta tank, but you ban it out against one of the players in HGC Europe that plays it on the highest level. So Sport Billy has performed on Garrosh just to a fantastic degree. We've seen a lot of Abathur bans, as you highlighted, but I think for them, they started already in part 2 of phase 1 to move away a little bit from these Abathur bans. Still prioritizing Abathur as an early ban on certain maps, as for example Cursed Hollow, but willing to let Abathur sneak in every now and then if the opponent really tries to prioritize it. Early trades are picked now for the Monkeys. That immediately, of course, forces us to think about Tassadar.
Yeah.
Forces us to think about Malfurion as well. So Liquid has options to take some of those heroes away now, heading into their first 2 picks, but have to really think about, okay, not only how do we counter Tracer, but what kind of synergy are we trying to deny to our opponent?
And Team Liquid just says, let's just take all the synergy and throw it out the window. Malfurion and Tassadar coming here for the 1 and 2 pick here for Team Liquid. Monkeys will have to adjust on the fly here, see which support they want to grab there. But Make is someone that has played Tracer in the past without the most optimal support. He loves playing Tracer. He loves getting in your face and dropping those pulse bombs, so this should be just fine for him.
So one variation that we can also talk about, it's not the most common, but we have seen it, would be Zarya. There have been teams that when Tassadar is denied to them, when they are trying to play Tracer composition, instead of Tracer, drop Zarya then later on. And that could still be a thing on the side of the Monkeys. Now a little bit less likely since Blaze is being dropped, which I also like, by the way. So you have a Deckard and a Blaze setup, where Blaze alone is going to provide some security through a bunker that Tracer can use later. But for later on in HGC, in this phase, it's still an option that we have to think about, because it has seen some play, the Zarya option, after Tracer is taking away at the mid-season brawl. That was actually like a bit of a fallback option if you don't get your priority pick.
One of the things that a Tracer really wants/needs is some kind of shielding to extend her life bar, because she has such a small health pool. And Deckard, to a degree, can do that as well with his own talents. He can pick up shields and make sure that she's being able to move in with a good extra 200 to 300 health points. So we'll see how that goes off for Deckard. It will require Tracer to come back a little bit more. Deckard's not able to get that range that you would normally have from a Tassadar and Malfurion in terms of providing those heals and those shields, but it is something.
It also immediately forces the question, what is going to be the hyper carry on the side of Team Liquid? So now Monkeys can think about that, and they can say, okay, what's the hero that we feel would benefit the most from this pairing that we have Team Liquid take? And then they can just simply ban that out. And they're banning Hans in this case. We've seen, of course, a plethora of heroes that would really work with this. Bala has made her way several times into mid-season brawl matches with the Malfurion and Tassadar composition. There's other options. You can even spec more into a frontline setup where you go into armor and Tassadar on level 4 and just say, okay, we're going to draft, let's say, a Sonya, for example, and keep her alive with shields and allow her to go a little bit harder, a little bit more ham in these situations.
Don't forget about the Lunara option, which can be helpful. You can try and stress out Deckard Cain in terms of mana. If he's spamming out those abilities, he will start to run out, and that will be a difficult thing for them to deal with. And if you really want to get aggressive, there's always the idea of Cassia, which you want to kind of leave for your 4th, 5th pickup that's coming your way, just to make sure you don't get countered by a major mage getting picked up on the opposing side.
And Team Liquid still favored here by the audience as well, actually looking at nearly a 7% win chance over Monkeys, who of course on that last map have fallen apart a bit towards the late game. I think this is really where they are starting to struggle the most, towards the later stages of the game, mid and late game. Early game we have now seen several times pretty good coordination and rotations on the Monkey side, which is actually something that we could see coming here into play as well. Liquid is known as a team that dominates on the map a lot, but if the Monkeys pick up the first protector and can get that rotation from mid lane wall into top lane fountain to set up the second objective, then they could gain that momentum that they need to just carry it throughout and create that snowball effect.
A lot of poke, though, coming for Team Liquid with that Thrall pickup. Having that Chain Lightning and also Earthquake has been pretty instrumental in Europe as of late. We saw it a lot at the MSB from a lot of our European players. Fnatic in particular would always move in a Thrall on this battleground. It gives you a lot of control, especially post-level 10. You're able to move in for flanks. If you have a bunker dropped, you can drop the Earthquake right on top of it, meaning your opponents have a harder time disengaging from that bunker. Lots of tools available now for Team Liquid, and then just waiting on that hyper carry.
Johanna makes her way in.
Ooh, the Cassia.
So I like the Johanna pick. We talked especially on Tomb a lot about how Johanna didn't, not only on Tomb, but in general came back into the meta through the mid-season brawl. And that's of course now something that they can use here too, especially against Thrall, against Muradin. It's really nice with the Condemn that you have, trying to also dodge a lot of these crowd control spells with your Iron Skin. And at the front line you can then have a Blessed Shield as a setup. Blaze can commit afterwards, and you have now Cassia for extra damage too. It's a pretty solid setup that the Monkeys are running here.
I love it.
I'm liking it a lot.
I feel like they have taken it away from Team Liquid. I feel like Team Liquid was eyeing that Cassia and thinking about moving into her based on what Monkeys grabbed. And Monkey realized that, and also realized that on their side of the draft, she fits perfectly. Thrall has a hard time taking her out. You'll have to have a perfect stun to get her killed off. But if you ever do get that engage you want, Deckard's always sitting in the back, ready for that stay a while and listen to make sure that the counter engage is available. And then there's Bunker. But Team Liquid brings out a Korean special. It's going to be Sergeant Hammer. Rich has single-handedly brought this character into the meta.
Now, if you guys have not watched the mid-season brawl, then you're probably looking at that pick and you're like, oh my god, that trolling, what's happening here? But Hammer has been brought back, and as you said, Rich at the mid-season brawl, Gen G of MVP Black, they brought Hammer back into it. And once that they've shown Hammer in the group stage, all of a sudden, all of the teams were starting to experiment with Sergeant Hammer a lot more in Hero League and then in their scrims as well, and saying, okay, was that a troll? Is that actually working? And everybody started to accept that Hammer is actually an extremely solid pick in certain situations. And Volskaya is the map where at the mid-season brawl we saw Hammer for the first time.
Yeah.
And now we have even a double support setup for her. Actually, we saw Hammer earlier on today even played against Gen G in HGC Korea. So very situational pick, but a pick that can definitely work out. In this case, played against Cassia though, and against Johanna. It's actually interesting. There's a lot of blinds available here. And against Cassia, let's see if Hammer really gets the value that they're hoping for.
There is that issue of Cassia having a hard time engaging a character like Sergeant Hammer. She is short range. There is always the option to move into a Q build, which gives you a little bit more damage and poke from afar. But it is going to be a little bit hard here for them to be able to get on top of that Hammer.
Yeah, at the same time now, you have Deckard though.
That's true.
So there's a lot of zone control. It's a really interesting matchup that we are seeing with this. But well, we're heading into game number 4, and it could be the last one. Liquid is in the lead as we see Norok, of course, on the support here. We have him currently on Malfurion. We have Hammer played by Arcana, Hazops on Tacita, Eternal on Thrall, and Sportbilly on Muradin.
And on the right side, in the red, possibly the last game if they're not able to get a win. Alex Aproji playing Blaze, Rimmer on Johanna, Crosby on Cassia, Make on Tracer, and Splendor on Deckard.
Splendor on Deckard Kane, and he will be the one to try and control the space around Sergeant Hammer, of course. At this point, we're already having on level 1 for Cassia. Immediately the Thunderstroke taken, so it's all about Lightning Fury. I actually like it. It's also a couple of free stacks on Hammer if you get deep here, and that's what Crosby's currently trying to do. If you stack that quickly, you can get a lot of value. Hammer, of course, you see on Arcana going for that standard build these days with Ambush on level 1.
Being able to go to Self, but the major appeal of picking that up is you get the extra 100% damage as you're able to pop out and shred anything around you. So always great to have when you're able to work that in with your auto attacks. And Team Liquid will play the passive game here, finishing off the Echo of the Elements, while Monkeys will be looking for the aggressive play. Tracer in particular is looking to zip in, drop that Pulse Bomb, and find a pick.
I mean, let's talk about Tracer here for a second too. One of the reasons why Hammer oftentimes is mentioned as a good hero against Tracer is that these auto attacks really pack a punch. And of course, Tracer is quite susceptible to auto attacks, so that can be a problem in the long run here. You can't dodge those, so Maka can zip around as much as he wants, but if Arcana gets close enough and can weave these auto attacks in, then Maka might be in trouble. Very aggressive rotation here. Sport really comes in. Ow! Oh, that was a close call. Alex with the jet propulsion away just as the hammer flight.
If that had connected, he may have not gotten away from that fight.
Yes.
Tassadar was rotating in, would have had the slow available.
And not only that, I mean, Noruk is sitting right there and could have followed it up with a root as well.
Yeah, easy money. Team Liquid is able to grab their turret, but Monkeys do the same on the right side, and they'll move over to start grabbing that camp to push in the top right. A little bit on the early side. We'd like for them to delay that, as Tassadar will be able to clear it up if it's left uncontested on the early side. Team Liquid rotates in, and they're going straight for Rimmer. She drops down the Iron Skin. They're trying to blow up the shield, but unable to do so. However, Arcaner is happy to siege on up and start shelling away.
Yeah, and Splendor is just pushing out the potions at this point. Getting quite a bit of value with Deckard here, so they're waiting for the camp, so they're not taking it right away, they're actually trying to time it. When we're talking about Sergeant Hammer, we have now on level 4 also Siege Tactics taken, so another standard talent for her to be claimed in that build that is being used these days, and extra armor on the side of Tassadar, so at this point that will help your front line to sustain as well as Sergeant Hammer herself.
Crosby's low, but he steps up, gets some heals coming in. As Deckard Cain doing a really good job of dropping those potions, allowing for Monkeys to control this space. Team Liquid is waiting for Thrall to rotate in, and he does. Comes over and drops down the Chain Lightning. Kiting Away as 2 jumps right on top of him. Rimmer on the front line, though, is taking a beating. Team Liquid able to grab the healing pulse there, but mostly because Eternal came in and Monkeys put 2 of their damage dealers on top of him, and he was able to kite away.
This is actually horrible for the Monkeys. This is really bad, and the reason is that they just sacrificed their turret to claim that biotic emitter, the healing pulse, and they didn't get it, and on top of that, Team Liquid didn't use their own turret. So now there's 2 items in the hands of Liquid and none for the Monkeys. So this is a pretty bad spot for them to be in. They have lost experience, they have lost both of the items, they get the early access on the control point because Liquid is busy grabbing their own camp, but this is not the start into the first objective that you want. This is going to be rough for the Monkeys for sure.
Arcaner sets up right on the outside here, is able to move into a turret if he needs to, and still has his tray in case there is an engage coming in from Make, and with Tassadar join in later on. Remember, you mentioned that level 4 pickup there. It'll be really hard for them to get that kill. Arcaner helping clear out that middle wave, but also trying to give a little bit of cover to Sportbilly as Alex comes over for the rotation. He wants to get this jet propulsion if he can. On a target, looking for Malfurion. He gets it. Pulse Bomb goes off, and Neuro is done.
The double kill. Alex with a setup here together with the rest of the team. That was incredibly well coordinated. Again, the situation from the get-go was better for Liquid with the 2 items that they had. They were actually willing to wait for quite a long time before they headed into the objective. But Alex with that setup at the side, and also Deckard, of course, setting a lot of this up with the root, that was perfect from the Monkeys. They were in a pretty weird spot going into the first objective, and they made the best out of it quite easily. That was actually fantastic play here. A great double kill, leads to the first protector, and now we have that rotation. You drop the wall in the middle, and you rotate to the top so that you drop the second wall, you grab experience, and you try to take down your opponent's fountain at least to make sure that the second objective is also set up quite well for you.
They've already got the turrets, and they've got some time here to start working on that well, as you mentioned. But 3 people in defense, though. Monkey waiting for everyone to get here. All 4 foes up, and they'll get that well easily. But they're making a play for a kill. They go straight for Sergeant Hammer. She drops down her trait, gets the shield, and has to zoom away.
I mean, in an ideal world, you take the fort too, so the opponent has no retreat point available to themselves. But I don't think that they can go for the entire thing. They drop it really low, though, but they still have to move out of this one because this is a 5 versus 4. Cassia is still at the bot lane. They might have overstayed their welcome a little bit. Deckard with the zone control again, and the kill against Thrall. The Monkeys in the early game here doing exceptionally well once again.
And that was a 4v5. Cassia just now shows up, and Monkeys are wanting to change it out as they go straight on in. We're going to have the boost come in for Arcaner at the right time, but Deckard Cain is one of those heroes. He is deceptively tanky. The dive on top of him, the triangle to hit 3 members, allowing for the Monkeys to bite back and get a kill.
If they can keep that amount of play up, if they really can keep the momentum up throughout the mid game and the late game, then this should be an easy one for them. But Liquid has shown that resilience throughout game 1, 2, 3, where they just in mid and late game situations always performed a little bit better in the team fights. And that's something that they have to showcase that again. They have to prove it once more, because the Monkeys are taking these early game leads and they're doing so well with them. Billy needs to be careful here. That level 10 that we have for the Monkeys is now starting to become a threat, and that biotic emitter, that healing pulse, is going to be headed over.
You see why there. Had anyone else been putting damage on him, he may have fallen. Buys a little bit of time, though, for his teammates to start working on this turret. Alex has sniffed it out. Okay, knockback comes in, too. There's going to be the turret. So Team Liquid just trying to buy a little bit of space, poking a little bit, but they still need their level 10.
Yeah, the rotation was just a bit late on the Monkey side. They could have taken the fort at the top lane, though, and they opted to not go for it just yet. But I think there will probably be a rotation very soon to make sure that that is not a fallback option for Liquid anymore. I still have to come back to that early double kill. It was a perfect setup. That trap that Alex set up there was just so fantastic, and Liquid could have gotten so much out of the first objective if they take it. Having the 2-item advantage against no item whatsoever is such a crucial thing. Liquid really felt confident heading into that, and Alex just screwed everything up for Liquid with the help of Splendor, as we see jet propulsion and the lockdown through Deckard coming into play. So I think that was fantastic play. Question just simply is, can they carry it into the mid and late game now?
The best part about that is the confidence that you mentioned by having all those items. The kills are great, but stopping any type of traction that your opponent has started to grab, the momentum they're buying with them having those turrets, is something that really can put you ahead. And we see it right now, 11.5 to 10, and they're continuing to keep the map control. Team Liquid has been timid since that fight.
The Monkeys, of course, now are still in possession of their own fort at the top lane. So the fort of Liquid should be falling soon, but the more important part, as we pointed out earlier, which is why you make that specific rotation with the first protector, is that fountain. What the Monkeys can do right now is, in the fight, when they exchange cooldowns, when they exchange hit points, they can fall back to the fountain, tap S5, and then re-engage into the battle with popped off hit point and mana pools. And that's something that Liquid can't do. So Monkeys need to use that as a tool. And of course, the item perspective is also great for them. It's 2 items against 1. It's even turrets, but there's a biotic emitter that we have now for the Monkeys on Maremma Baller that gives them a bit of an edge.
Now, Team Liquid, they have one shot here, and that's to use that BFG and secure a kill. Find a target to pick off, and that starts with Sport Billy. He has to be careful, though. He's waiting for third wind to proc here so he can get healed up. Flings out the Stormbolt, and it does not connect, so they have to wait for that to pop in. With Thrall on the side, though, they're buying some time as Alex approaching, gets cut out of position. Bunker comes out. Earthquake comes out as well. Ethereal gets pulled in. Cassia goes in for the kill. BFG connects with 4. Sport Billy tries to stay alive, and he will, but Hasuov is cleaning up.
The counter kill is there, but we still have that fountain, and now they're starting to top off, and they can re-engage into this. It was a great move by Liquid to get the kill against Tracer, though. That was an important one. We saw Valkyrie coming through and really putting Infernal into an awkward spot, but this is not over yet. In the mid lane, already 13 tickling into the hands of the Monkeys as we have Alex rotating over and grabbing the wave, and now there's a talent advantage for the Menagerie that they can use to reclaim the objective.
Team Liquid buying time, though, with that hover siege mode. Sport Billy should be able to escape as long as he doesn't get caught when he goes for that dwarf toss. He's going to play careful, make sure there is no way for Rimmer to land that. Condemn comes out, but Sport Billy hops right on over it. Thrall, meanwhile, is grabbing the turret to the bottom left, while Team Liquid grabs what they can.
And Liquid is trying to grab, at this point, of course, another turret, but we still have the biotic emitter in the hands of the Monkeys, and they are going for a second. They're trying to go for a double healing pulse here,
which they might be able to get. Arcana is trying to contest. 13 is right around the corner. Valkyrie comes out, but it does not connect. Ethereal starts to move in. He doesn't have Earthquake, so he has to play careful. Sportbill gets caught in the sleep. He's low on health, trying to buy some time. Nurok is trying to provide the heals. The shield comes out as well, and Sportbill finally falls.
He goes down. They're going for Hammer, and they're trying to get the double kill, but they don't get it. But they have double healing pulse now, and they can simply go for the objective again. That kill was so important for the Monkeys. Now Liquid has 13, but they're in a 4 versus 5 situation. So the Monkeys rotate back top. They still hold on to an entire level lead. They are going to grab this second objective. There is no way that Liquid is going to contest this. Not with 4, and not in a situation where they're up against a double healing pulse. The question just simply is, how much can the Monkeys get out of the objective once they grab it?
Death timers are still low, though, and Merden comes back, and Team Liquid actually start to itch a little bit as they move over this top left corner and want to maybe contest the area.
They are. They actually are contesting it. They're trying. Meriden is back to business. It's going to get close, though.
They got heroic. Sportbilly has to get in there. Alex is holding that front line. Jet propulsion comes out, hits Nurok, but he's just fine.
Yeah, here's the bunker already. Again, Valkyrie against Tassadar. He's down immediately. There's locked down and eliminated. Tassadar is dead. And now, even with Tranquility, it does look unlikely that Liquid has to sustain here. Sportbilly jumps out, but there comes the Condemn, and the follow-up is ready.
Stay a while and listen. Hits 1, 2, and 3. 1 falls immediately. Nurk about to fall 2. Make goes in, and he is chasing. Sportbilly attempting to retreat, but Make wants his pick. Avatar comes out. Oh my gosh, the turnaround with the Storm Ball into the BFG will kill Tracer, but the Protector has gone over to the Monkeys.
Monkeys with the second Protector. They lose Tracer, though. That was a bit too greedy there, but level 15.5 and an immediate rotation into the mid lane to make sure that they get the experience to get to level 16. Protector's on its way now too. They're trying to make sure that they again take the forts down, and of course they want to also take the bottom fort. The next objective will be at the bottom lane, so cleaning out the fort and making sure that you also get the fountain would be fantastic. It sets you up for the next objective, so you always rotate from one to another to make sure that you're continuing that advantage throughout the mid and late game.
The advantage stays here for the Monkeys as Team Liquid continues to lose their first layer of defense. The fort is the focus for the Monkeys as they clear it out. They'll deal with the well afterwards. Even stepping forward, knowing they have that level 16, Team Liquid is not in a position where they can defend this, especially with 3. Thrall clears out the middle lane, Tassadar in the top. They're just working on experience. They know they have to close the gap. And the Monkeys, they keep going. They go for a keep turret. They grab 1. They're looking for the second here too, and they open the gate.
And let's not forget, Arcana, yes, on Hammer can be fantastic with that double support, but we have 2 blinds available for the Monkeys, and that is a huge factor here in this setup. So they're going in once again. Here comes the Valkyrie, but a nice cleanse comes out with a Nature's Cure here, making sure that he is not getting sucked into this. Half of the keep has already fallen, and here comes the follow-up attempt, but they can't chase too much. 16 is ready for the Monkeys, and Liquid just isn't there yet.
They gotta be careful too, because the last couple of fights have been won by Alex Aproji turning around with the jet propulsion, hitting a 2 to 3 person stun.
Yeah.
Team Liquid is already playing safe. They are splitting up. Monkeys move in and they grab the turret.
Fantastic call here. You still have a talent advantage. Use it. Go in. Claim these objectives, and they are trying to go for the bottom keep again. They know that they have the upper hand here. With their advantage in talents, they are also getting closer to having a lot of their heroic abilities available again, and they're just trying to poke away here. Now, of course, Cassia is also in a position where she's now completed Lightning Fury build and can just poke away continuously with the help of Blaze here, who's also just lighting things up.
And don't forget, she can also force a fight in 3 seconds with Valkyrie about to pop in. Team Liquid is playing safe. They are spreading out as much as they can. Rimmer steps forward, drops down the Condemn, knowing that if anyone steps forward from Team Liquid, Crosby will be able to pick them off, and there it is. The keep eventually does get picked off. Alex Aproji has been locked down. He's
the
gonna
shield.
drop the bunker. Can he stay alive here? Alex is actually gonna get picked off.
It's still worth. Still absolutely worth it at this point. 16 is there for Team Liquid, and Blaze falls, but he's actually the one who finishes off the keep, and that is a big advantage that you now have. Now, Team Liquid, they're 2 levels behind, and they're trying to get something out of the map control they just gained. So map control in the sense that they have a 5 versus 4 on the map. So they need to do something, and the answer for them is claim items. Try to go and grab the turret. Because one of the things that the Monkeys did is they sacrificed the turret that they stole away from Team Liquid to get that keep. They moved in, waited for their own wave to push in, dropped the turret, and now they are in a fantastic spot. But Team Liquid is trying to use that opportunity now to drop structures on the opponent's side to close that experience gap a little bit.
Don't forget though, with 16 coming online, Sergeant Hammer is a little bit more equipped to deal with these frontline tanks now with that giant killer coming online. So now they can deal with Johanna, can deal with Blaze as well. Sure, the blind will be annoying, but something that feels great to pick up whenever you finally do unlock that talent tier. So Team Liquid should be able to handle that front line a little bit better, which has been a nuisance so far, even around the keep.
My question is just, how do the Monkeys play this now? Are they willing to take every fight, or are they just trying to stall this out until they hit their level 20, which is also an option that they have? So we still see the zone control of Deckard. We talked about that earlier. And here comes Thrall. Again, the Nature's Cure. Great play here. That was actually so important right now. Well done. Stay a while and listen comes out as well. But I really like these setups that we are having at this point. Deckard comes in, locks someone down, and that's when Cassia says, okay, I got a Valkyrie ready. And the reaction of Team Liquid is good, but it's always a big threat coming out. And also the Monkeys with good coordination. I'm really appreciating the way they are playing this right now.
Team Liquid able to grab that Saya Minor though, able to have that healing coming in, so they'll be able to have that item, but with 1 level. here for Monkey. They'll have level 20, and that means they'll be able to control that point well.
Liquid is at the bot lane right now, and that's of course something that the Monkeys knows, that there's one hero at least is missing. So they go for the structures here. They can push, threaten, keep, and in the process get experience through the towers. And that will force Thrall back eventually, and that's exactly what happens right now. Alex is already on the move as well. Eternal is still there. They scouted him out and still dropped the bunker, but the rest of the team is also on the way.
Alex is going to have to drop this bunker. There we go. Finally he gets it, waiting for his teammates to get there. The Earthquake comes out, making it hard for him to escape. Alex able to get to his teammates, so Thrall low on health, able to kite away, still dropping down those healings. The BFG is about to be up here for Arcaner. He can try and go for a snipe if they can get vision on a target here that is low enough, but with Decker consistently popping out the heals just fine. Here comes the BFG as it connects with Splendor and Make.
But the situation for the Monkeys is fantastic here. They bought time. Time where Liquid could not go for the objective. Look at that wave at the bot lane. A double catapult starting to push in already. And the Monkeys are closing in on 20. So they just need one more wave. That's all they need right now. A couple of experience points, and then they can safely go for the objective. They early on already commit to it here, but there is very little chance for Liquid to really fight this. And a Protector could end the game, potentially. If they get a kill with a Protector...
Oh, easily.
That would be lights out.
Even Sergeant Hammer sieging away the Protector is incredibly strong, especially on the third phase, usually game ending if you've lost your fort, and especially when you're keeping it down. Team Liquid needs to decide what they want to do here, and they're prepping their lanes to have that lane push in the top.
There's the 20. Level 20 is in play, and this is going to get really difficult for Liquid. We could look at a 5th game here. If Monkeys don't screw this up, then they have a fantastic start into this. Liquid feels like they are going for it. They're just saying, guys, we have to fight it. If they get the Protector, it's over. So they're starting to siege in. They're saying, yes, they have 20, but we have to. There is no other way. They're going to look for that quick kill.
Sport Billy controlling the point here, helping contest. The number still goes up, but it will lock down at 99%. He hits a Storm Bolt. Both tanks are kind of locked here on the bottom right corner, but they have to be wary of Tracer. Tracer gets poked heavily, though. Arcadia showing what Sergeant Hammer can do.
Conveyor belts here definitely going to have a huge impact on this as well, adding a little bit of a randomness factor into this, as we have the Menagerie on 99%, but they have to contest this again. And at this point, Rema is in trouble, and a quick pause here. Crucial moment in this game, level 20 for the Monkeys, and we have 19 for Liquid. 8 kills against 3, and so far we have seen some fantastic play by the Monkeys, and they have an advantageous situation going into this. But if Liquid finds the kill...
Alex better have lost his internet right now, because that was the moment where things were about to get a little bit spicy. He took that spiciness away from me.
Yeah.
Come on, Alex. What is that? That Storm Bolt actually connected to Johanna, and she's already being burned down already. Don't forget, though, that level 20 is there, so she should be fine. But she's also on a conveyor belt, which makes things a little bit difficult. What's the matter?
That is the best reason that I've ever heard while we had a pause. So the reason is actually that there's something happening at Alex's place right now, some student thing, where it's insanely loud and they can't communicate. That's over, and now we go in. Stay a while and listen, baby. Rema Bola is in trouble, and he goes down. Rema Bola is down. He didn't pick his Indestructible.
He has Storm Shield actually there on the level 20. He picked it for his team. And now Blaze the next target. Alex approaches low on health. He tries to get away with the Jump Potion, and he will, but Sport Belly able to hop away too. And Team Liquid, they have 5.
Wow. That's a moment when you really, really have to question that choice on level 20. You can hold that for a long time and then make a decision what you really want to go for. And he picked it early, went into the Storm Shield, and that has backfired. That was a decision that has not turned out well for them. If he just would have snap-picked the 20 and go for Indestructible, they might have been able to save him, but as it stands, they just lost the Protector that could have ended the game because of that kill against Johanna.
And now they have to deal with the threat of the game being ended for them.
Yes.
Sergeant Hammer is already breaking down the fort, looking to break down this keep wall. The keep will be next, which the Protector can easily handle. Now, Johanna will be back in 2 seconds, which will be helpful. But Team Liquid is marching on Death's Door. Yeah,
Liquid, Liquid wants to end this now. If they can, that would be fantastic for them. The question is, can they pull it off? Here comes the Valkyrie. That's not enough. Deckard, Splendor.
BFG!
He goes down, and that's the kill. Team Liquid starting to move in. Crosby on the run. The bunker's on the ground. Rema Bola again in a little bit of trouble here as the Protector is down to half health. Maka is also moving away here. Alex is just dancing around. More and more damage against the Protector. It doesn't look likely that Liquid can actually end this, but they are very, very much so dropping the keep.
Yep, the orbital keeps coming in here too, as Team Liquid will keep having that BFG popping in. The Protector is getting low on health, as you mentioned. Earthquake is popped. The Thurner wants to be able to try and get a slow on somebody if he can find someone to pick off with that Wolf. Only one member left here as Team Liquid starts to charge on in. Big explosion afterwards. The Sport Billy tries to point the Storm Bolt. Hasu up is low on health, but he'll be able to kite away.
Yeah, the jet propulsion has missed there, but they don't have a support, and that's a big problem. Tranquility comes out, and they're going in, and Blaze goes down. Blaze is down. It's a 3 versus 5 at this moment.
The orbital!
Here comes the orbital, and Crosby nearly falling, barely gets away. But I'm not sure if Liquid can really end this right now. They're trying to, though. 6 seconds until Deckard is going to be back.
Arcaner is sitting here.
They can for sure.
Hold the salami, hold the cheese.
We are going ham, boys.
That's right. Arcaner is moving in, going straight for the core. Another BFG flying out. Team Liquid is wanting to end, and they are slowly burning it down.
Yeah, especially with Sergeant Hammer. And once again, Remaballer in trouble. Stay a while and get wrecked, son. But no, Remaballer. Can they drop Sport Billy? Yes, Billy is down 55% on the core.
No way.
And Liquid has to move back. And look at that top lane. There's another big wave coming in with a camp. Maybe at the top they're going to lose another keep if they stay too long here, but they want to end the game. They have Arcana. He's sieging up. Here comes the blind. Again, the BFG comes into play. Marker!
He's low, and he finally gets picked off. Malfurion comes in with the Moonfire, and they need that kill too, because Blaze being back in about 3 seconds. This core has dropped 11% in the last 10 seconds. Sergeant Hammer keeps sneaking in. Another BFG coming in there. They have to make sure the shields never go up here. That's why they keep locking up for attacks, so this BFG can continue to whittle them down.
Market going down here is such a big problem for them. He was such a crucial aspect of the aggression that we saw against them. But they have, for now, pulled it off. They have actually pulled off the defense here. After we've seen so many kills, first of all against Deckard, then against Blaze, it really looked like there's no way the Monkeys can hold this. But Liquid, they lost Muradin, and then slowly and steadily, Monkeys were pushing them back, but they're down to 35% on the core. The top lane pressure against the keep of Team Liquid has continued, but it hasn't fallen yet.
That kill on Muradin was pivotal. If they had had a front line consistently holding there and having those Stormbolt set up, there is no way that Team Liquid has to back up. A Sergeant Hammer push, when she is set up and good to go, and being able to float around thanks to her level 7 talent, Hover Siege mode, it is a difficult hold. That was monumental for Monkeys.
But let's not forget that that 20 is still on course for the core. Hammer is still continuously putting the pressure up. Alex with a bunker last second. Is that the moment where Liquid is finally going to cleanse out that victory? But we have a potential kill here. They're trying to go for Muradin this time. Sport Billy gets caught here. Alex moves away, gets the shield, and nearly Billy falling, but not quite. And the BFG comes through again.
And Arcaner continues to keep sieging. The BFG, as you mentioned, going straight for the core. Now the shields keep coming in, and the shields will be able to pop on top of that core before the BFG knocks it down. So they will stay at 33% until Team Liquid actually gets over there and starts working in attacks. Team Liquid, though, they are on the hunt. They are slowly moving up with Infinite Archon being available. Monkey has to continue kiting backwards, dropping in the damage. Make gets zapped and hit by a BFG. He's down to half health. Deckard is frantically trying to provide heals.
Those blinds are so crucial right now. They're trying to go in for a kill, but they can't get it just yet. There's catapults as well. Alex all of a sudden is getting the AoEs in. They're trying to go for Norok here. It's a little bit too far out. That BFG still getting the damage in. Pulling in from every single angle. There's so much damage coming out that the Monkeys somehow have to dodge. But again, Liquid is not really able to edge forward far enough. The blinds are just too strong at this point against the Hammer in particular.
33% on that core, but it's still holding. And the Monkeys force Team Liquid back.
Think about how we got here. Monkeys were so far ahead, and then that one kill against Johanna flipped everything on the side. Liquid pushing in. Now we still have another objective on the map, and this is where the Monkeys have to find that kill. Earlier, when the defense was on, Tracer died. Tracer has fallen, and that didn't allow the Monkeys to chase Team Liquid down as they finally claimed a position here. But now they're trying to go for that kill. Alex is a bit far out, is in trouble, but here comes the Valkyrie, and that's the end of Muradin. The Monkeys are going for it.
They go for it, and they actually get the kill, but look at Thrall on the bottom lane. He's going straight in there. The BFG, remember, it keeps putting down the shield, so he's going to have to get through that. He's going to pop the Wind Fury, and he moves straight for the core. The rest of Team Liquid need to keep Monkeys here, and they keep a couple back. Alex Approach tries to go for the back, but Crosby, gets over here. He starts to poke away. Earthquake Arthurdo going for the kite. Wind Fury keeps bringing out the damage. 2 BFGs to hit the core.
The blind?
So the blind, is it enough? 2%! Here comes Durak, though, the Moonfire. Will the support do it? Arcaner comes in, tries to get the last attack, but the Stay a while.
No
listen.
way.
Oh, it's not enough. As the Moonfire is able to secure the kill, Team Liquid is able to grab the victory and get a 3-1 over the Monkeys. What an ending.
What a game.
That was impressive. That's a good way to start HGC Europe, that is for sure.
God, would I be pissed if I'm on Monkeys.
Yeah. But they had some moments where they held that. That is a difficult push to hold. It is very hard to get on top of a hammer. You have a Murden jumping around constantly. You can't lock him down. Them finding that one kill, that was impressive.
Liquid getting that victory here, that was really just super close. They just barely got this one, and it was a difficult one for sure.
And Arcane are coming in here and proving the pickup for him to be on the hyper carries is working out, playing different tanks here. The siege damage from Hasselhoff, though, constantly watching those lanes, keeping his team in here with the soak, really delivering on the task.
I can't help but just like feel for the Monkeys at this point. I mean, they had the game won. It was their game to lose.
Yeah.
And then they make a wrong decision towards the end. When it comes to the last protector, they go in from the wrong angle. They're not quite on the same page there how to engage this. Liquid is already forced into a bad fight where they go up against Storm Talons. And then Monkeys just misplay that a bit. They lose Johanna. Johanna didn't go into Indestructible on 20 and therefore falls. And from that point on, the Monkeys even hold against the hammer composition. They get the kill against Muradin in the middle, but with only 38% on the core, it's just not enough. And a great decision here on the macro at the end, just saying, like, guys, let's go for core.
Yeah.
We just lost Muradin. That protector is gone. We can't fight them straight up. We have to go for core here. Do or die. And they actually pull it through.
And the thing is, it takes guts to go for that core call, too, especially when you consider what happened in game number 2 when they went for a core call and it completely failed against the Monkeys. I mean, the Monkeys were this close from actually holding that. That stay a while and listen coming in. Had it been directly on point, they may have been able to hold it.
To be honest, I don't think they could have held it all because the last attack of Hammer takes it. The problem is the next BFG that runs through, you don't have shields at that moment. The shields don't generate fast enough. So I think even if Malfurion and Hammer don't get the attacks in and die right at that moment, I don't think they can hold, just simply because the next BFG is going to run through. Okay,
so we have a replay over it. We're going to check that later on. First off, we're getting ready with this interview with Hasuabs, and I'm actually kind of excited to see Hasu. It's been forever, so Hasuabs comes in and gets the victory. It looks like he's here. Hasu, welcome back to the HGC. I haven't seen your face in forever. You're still beautiful. Congratulations on your victory, man.
No, thank you very much. What a crazy series, actually.
Yeah?
Holy shit.
I guess that's one way to sum it up. That is for sure. That ending, let's talk about it. Being able to have the presence of mind to go for the call on the core. Did you guys have any doubts in comms, or was it something that Athorna was like, listen, I got this, and you just went for it? What happened? Tell me.
It was actually Billy. You know, we were sieging the core for a while, and Arcana kept saying, if we manage to get into range so Tassada can storm the core, it will lose HP. But they were zoning us so well with the Deckard potions on 20, so they never lost ground. Then Billy called, let's go to the objective to put like the pressure with the objective on them, so they have to kind of walk out of their base. And then he also said that Thrall can just go to the core.
Yeah.
And then with the second BFG charge, we would be able to get it. And it actually worked out, so
just barely.
To him. It was, I mean, barely, yeah, but was a nice call.
It was a nice call. Well, I want to ask you, you coming in today, I think a lot of us were expecting Team Liquid to do really well, get an easy 3-0, but it looked like the Monkeys actually put up a bit of a fight. Was that more of them just delivering today, or did you guys feel a little bit off today and not at your full power?
Actually, I feel good, and I think we played pretty well overall. Like, for sure, there were some mistakes, but maybe they actually played good as well. I think they had some really good drafts, to be honest. Even the Cassia pick on the last map, something that we didn't expect, and it turned out to be very, very hard compared to the things we used in scrims against the other teams. Because obviously we didn't play against them in scrims, so we didn't know.
Awesome. Well, over to Caldor. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Was a pretty close one. For me, actually, it was more so not even the pretty exciting late game that we saw there, but that killer that you guys got against Johanna on the last map. It always felt that you were exploiting mistakes on their end a little bit. Now, heading away from that series, what do you take away from that? Do you really feel that you guys are ready yet to face teams that are supposedly stronger and going to contest your spots at the offline events more, like Method, Fnatic, and Dignitas?
Yeah, I think so. As I said, I feel like we played good overall. For sure, there are things we can improve, and I also have to say I think they played pretty well. At least that's how it felt. Obviously I need to check the replays and so on to really figure out why some of the games were so close. But I think we are ready. Like the scrim results we have are pretty good, and everyone in the team is very hyped to play, and the atmosphere is just awesome right now. Everyone is carrying his weight.
One of the calls that we were a little bit skeptical of was on Cursed Hollow when you guys decided against Zeratul and the setup that they had to go for the core. What was the thought process behind it? You were in a 4 versus 5 situation. It didn't really seem like you had enough of an advantage to really drop the core there. Do you guys just feel that once level 20 comes in, you don't really have the chance to face them on eye level anymore? Or where did that come from? What was the thought process behind it?
Actually, on almost all maps, we had this weird core scenario where we walked up and we weren't able to finish right away. So that's for sure something we have to look at, because it can't be like this, because this is too risky. If things go wrong, we just lose the game, which happened on Cursed.
Yeah.
To your question, so yeah, kind of the level 20 Zeratul factor scared us a lot, and we thought maybe the 5v4 is the best chance we get to close out the game. But it was actually, I think we played it very poor, and there's for sure some things we can analyze in the replay to do this better next time. Because I think there was a chance, but it's not easy to finish the game there. But I think it's possible.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, so we get more of you tomorrow, by the way, as you're facing off against Fnatic. Any early thoughts about that matchup?
It's probably even harder than today's, but we will see. As I said, we feel good, and we practice a ton, actually, before these matches. So we still got some draft tricks prepared, and I'm also looking forward to how good Fnatic is, because obviously they made some changes as well in the roster. So it should be a nice fight.
Well, I know we are definitely looking forward to the matchup. I'm going to let you go so you can prepare for it. But as always, the shout-outs are available for you as the floor is now yours.
Yeah, finally HGC is back. Feels awesome to play it again. So thank you very much for that. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all my teammates for playing awesome today. Shout outs to Team Liquid, all the fans, all the sponsors and partners. And see you tomorrow again.
Awesome. We look forward to the matchup. A big victory coming in for Team Liquid as they get a 3-1 over the Monkeys. And tomorrow you can catch more of them as they face off against Fnatic. But